Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. I just want to warn you ahead of time, I've been battling a head cold for about a week and a half. This is the best my voice has been, so I'm running out of time to do this install, so I'm just going to have to suck it up and do it. So I apologize in advance for the raspiness. But today we're going to be installing a metal cloak skid plate for the rear differential. And it's going to tie in with some of the other armor upgrades that we've recently had added on, which I'll show you once we get underneath the Jeep. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and show you what we're going to be working with today. So we have this metal cloak rear differential skid plate, and these are all the parts and hardware that it comes with, and that's it. So it should be an easy install. Calls for 3/4 inch and 9/16 wrench and socket, and I have a ratchet, and I have my torque wrench and some flashlights for filming purposes. We may or may not be using this to keep the skid plate up while I'm installing it, because I'm by myself today, so that might have to be my second set of hands. We'll see. So you can see here why they suggested I get a differential cover. She's getting a little bit beat up, and we just don't want it to get too bad. So we're gonna go ahead and hit it with some spray paint. I know it's not the perfect solution, but it'll be good enough for now. But before it gets worse, we're gonna go ahead and take care of it. I teased in the last video that we got some upgrades done recently at Simpson Family Jeeps. So what we ended up doing, just, you know, I'm all about the armor and trying to protect the parts that I have. So we got some lower rear shock mount skids from Rusty's Off-Road, and we got some lower control arm mount skid plates also from Rusty's. We got them on both sides. Like I always say, sometimes you have to get creative. So my work bucket is going to be my cameraman for under the Jeep. Doing the best I can with the lighting I got. So you can see I went ahead, I hit it up with some Rust-Oleum paint. Doesn't have to be beautiful, because soon as it'll be all dirty again anyway. Well, that should help protect it. Doesn't look like I'm going to need a second set of hands. It seems like it's going to go in pretty easy if I can stop dropping things on myself. Of course, I say that, now everything's going to fall apart. We're going to see what we can do though. So I'm putting the U-bolts on now. I got one of them up there. I'll show you here in a minute. But it goes over the axle tube. And I made sure to run these nuts all the way down the threads, because it never fails. There's always one that's boogered up, and sure as hell, there was one set of threads that was right at the very beginning that I had to file and then get it fixed. But I got it fixed, it's on there. No big deal. So the U-bolts went on no problem. It says just to snug them up, just to where it doesn't fall off and smash you in the face. So I can do that. So now it just kind of did that wrong. So I guess I snugged them up more than I should have. I need them to drop down more. That's okay. This is why I'm not a mechanic. So we're gonna let these U-bolts drop down, because now I need it to pivot. And it's not gonna let it, so cool. Looks like we get to do it again. That's all right. This way you learn how not to do it. So I had just put it on there, let it kind of hang off it. But the problem is you got to rotate it to where the right now it's catching on the rear differential cover, so it's not letting it rotate. See if I can just get away with taking one U-bolt off. God, no, that couldn't be that easy. So we're going to take the other U-bolt off and we're going to try it again. Be right back. Okay, I got one nut left on one of the U-bolts. Right now you can see it spins. You need to have it more in its position where it's going to be, which I didn't know because I've never done this before. And of course there's the emergency brake cable in the way over here. So, that's all right. We'll snake it through there. It should be back in business now. So when you put this on, you want the skid plate to be positioned pretty much where it's going to end up, which I'll show you here in a second. Once I know this isn't going to fall and smack me in the head. Looks like that thread is still being a pain in the ass, so we'll come back to that. Well, it tried to beat me, but I wouldn't let it. Okay, so now I'm gonna have a look here. You can see this is the position you wanted, and that's the rear diff cover. So before you go to put it on, you want to have it pivoted pretty much where it's going to be. I apologize for the camera angles. I don't know how else to do this. So the U-bolts are installed, and now we're going to do this little flange here. All right, so we're back. Oh, this is great. Hopefully this works, I don't know. I don't know. The directions, well, they don't come with any. You have to download them, which that bothers me. You're paying this much. They can't even print out on a piece of paper or something, but whatever. So I did not watch any videos before I did this because I kind of wanted to experience it firsthand where you can see me suffer and laugh at me, and that's okay because I definitely never claimed to be an expert at any of this. Oh, okay, so you fit shapes together. Cool, just like kindergarten. Okay. And these are lock washers, so, or lock nuts, I'm sorry. So they're only gonna go so far, but it looks like we got it where it's gonna go. So I'm gonna go refer to the directions one more time, and we'll start tightening this stuff down. All right, well, consulted the directions again. Of course, that's not the right size. Why would it be? Okay. So these are the 3/4. It says to tighten it evenly. We'll do the same with the U-bolts. Okay, those are getting snug. These a little bit more. I guess the way I'll see if they're the same, I'll just measure the end of the threads, and that'll let me know how even they are. And these lock nuts are really tight, so these are going to be a blast to do. Getting close, getting close. Everything's starting to feel snug, so that's good. I think I'm going to stop with the automatic tools there because I don't want to break anything. All right, we're going to set the torque wrench to 50 foot-pounds as per the directions. Apparently I still have a ways to go, so you aren't going to do that yet. All right, sounds like we got the back U-bolts all done. Okay. Now we'll try the fronts again. All right, so everything we've used so far has been 3/4. So I think the last parts we got to put on will be the 9/16. This is making me paranoid because it's not torquing, and it feels like it should be by now. Okay, it's at 45. Okay. All right, there we go, there's 50. I always get paranoid that I'm gonna over torque and break something because I've done it before. Even though one time with something I bought on Terraflex, it was their quick disconnects. It said to torque it to whatever, and I set it 10 pounds below just because I'm paranoid, and it still broke. So ever since then, I've always been kind of paranoid about torquing things. There we go. Okay. So that, as everybody likes to say, that ain't going nowhere. So the last thing that we're supposed to put on are these blocks. They're like a real heavy duty plastic for their spacers for your rear sway bar. But we have the anti-rock. I'll get under there and show you. So we're not going to need these parts, and now I got extra parts. So that's cool. So the final step is to install some blocks for the sway bar so you can space them. But I have the anti-rock, so I don't have to worry about that because this little tube right here, that's my sway bar. It goes underneath and through there. All right, so the final step, we're gonna do the torque line marks so I can see if anything gets loose. So I'm gonna be using my red pen because I think it'll show up pretty good on here. A quick check for when we're doing trail rides. Doesn't have to be perfect, just to where you can see it easily without having to get crazy Spider-Man flexible. Then we'll go around and do the other side. This will be a little challenging to see, but I'll do my best and then figure it out. Do a little bit above and below. I always bring torque wrenches on the trail, so when in doubt, torque it out. I try to do it keeping in mind that when I'm checking these, it's going to be dirty and I'm going to want to be pretty much standing from the outside looking in, so I want to be able to see this without having to climb under here when at all possible. So there we go. All right, so we got that all done, and I looked at the watch when I started, when I finished. If you include the recording and the lighting changes and the fact that I didn't know what the hell I was doing, it took me a half an hour. Again, not a mechanic, never done this before. It took me a half an hour. I only ended up needing a 3/4 inch socket, a 3/4 inch wrench, and then my torque wrench. I didn't need the 9/16 because those blocks weren't needed in my case because of the anti-rocks that I have. As long as you know how to use tools and read directions, you should be able to do this with no problem. And again, once I get done with our trip, I will give you feedback and let you know how it held up, because it'll be put through its paces with 3 days on the trails at Windrock. Notice how I keep dropping that Windrock coming a couple weeks. So stay tuned, it's gonna be interesting. That's gonna wrap it up for this video. In about a week and a half, I'll be leaving for Windrock. So I'll be getting a lot of stuff out of storage and figuring out what I'm gonna take. Most likely gonna make a video out of it. I'd ask if anybody wants to see it, but I don't get a lot of comments, so I'm just gonna do it, and people are either gonna watch it or they're not. As of the recording of this video, we're up to 335 subscribers, which is so freaking cool. So I appreciate all of you, and if you are not a subscriber, it's free. Just hit the button, hit the like. We have a whole library of DIY, off-road adventures, and cooking, hence the Gridland Jeepers. So there's most likely gonna be something in there for everybody. And this trip I got coming up with my buddy Nino, go back and look at our Burning Rock videos from last September. Go back and look at our Roush Creek videos from 2 months ago. I'll link those in the description. But he's a really cool dude. Met him off-roading, and he's got a really nice, he just got on 40s, his Gladiator Mojave. It's a beast, and he drives it like his hair's on fire, and he stole it. The exact opposite of me. If anyone see me off-road, I off-road like an old man, but whatever, to each of their own. But we got a lot of good content coming up here in the next couple of weeks. Not to mention, we'll probably start doing a little bit more cooking outside that it's cooled off. So we have a lot of stuff coming up to the channel. So stick around, and until next time, take care.